Hi everyone. I would really like to talk today about the trap of credit cards. When I first moved to this country, I saw all these YouTube videos about people talking how they make profit from credit cards and how many points or percentage of cash back they get back. I was really interested in that. So what I did was I applied for the Amex Cash Blue Card and the Capital One Quicksilver. So I got immediately very excited because all of a sudden I start seeing cash back in my account, and I thought, okay, this is a very good way of making my expenses. But in all honesty, if you're not in that maturity level and you don't know exactly what you're doing, then it's very easy to get trapped in a downward spiral. What I did finally, I ended up owning over $6,000 in credit cards. It was an early time of when I moved to the country, so my income was not nearly as the levels that it is right now. So I ended up spending a whole lot more than I would normally spend just because it was so exciting for me to see those numbers coming up of the cashback. Now, for $20 cashback, I had to spend thousands. Was it worth it? Absolutely not. And the kind of interest that the credit cards have, and you can imagine that since I was new to the country and my credit score was not nearly as high as it is right now, I was always getting the worst deals in APR. So for a $6,000 debt, I was paying something around in the neighborhood of $350 monthly. So it was really tough, and the numbers were not coming down. It was extremely frustrating and hard for me to have that bill every month. And in all honesty, I didn't have much more money after I was paying off my credit card to do anything else. I had to stay home. I couldn't go in restaurants. I couldn't go in bars. I stopped having a social life because of that. Now, right after that, life hit me. I got separated with my now ex-wife, and I moved to this apartment that I am living right now. After I moved to this apartment, short after, like a month or two after, I came in with my daughter one night, and the power was off. And the power was off not because there was a blackout in the neighborhood, but I realized I didn't pay my electrical bill for a few months. So with the last money I had on the American Express card, which was about $300 before I hit the highest limit I had, I called the electric company and I paid for my bill, which was $280. So I was left with $20. But what hit me the most was that I came home with my daughter, and she tried to turn on the light, and she said, "Oh, Daddy, the light is broken." So I had to take out the flashlights, and we were playing with flashlights until, the electric was back. That was a turning moment for me. I really started changing my mindset after that. I dislike debt. I am more in a Dave Ramsey kind of school of thought right now. I still use credit cards. I'm treating them as cash. But I caught myself many times thinking, oh, they all offer easy payments now. American Express does it, Chase does it, and it's a fixed fee, so it's very easy for someone to think of taking advantage of it. But what's going to happen is that the banks know what they're doing, and they're going to take advantage of you. In the end of the day, if you spend money that you don't have, there's gonna come a day where you spend much more than you thought, and what you can afford is really the minimum payments and nothing more. And the debt is gonna keep increasing, and that's gonna take you down, and it's gonna have an impact on your credit score, and then you're not gonna have the possibility of buying a home, and you will never live the American dream, as the Americans would call it, of owning a home and having that white fence in the backyard, and whatever you guys see around you on a daily basis. So if the one thing I learned from that experience is that debt is not good. I would highly suggest, if you guys want to take advantage of the amazing credit cards, you have to understand also that the kind of credit cards that the American market has don't exist anywhere in the world. You can go to Europe, you can go to the UK, you can go to Germany. You won't find the type of rewards in credit cards in those countries unless you're in the very 1% of the population. In financial way, you're not gonna get cards that give you 5% back or 5 points back that then you can turn for travel, and they're worth all of a sudden 7.5 to 5 cents per point. So these are amazing offers. What happens here with the credit cards is absolutely mind-blowing, and it doesn't happen anywhere in the world. But if you're not careful, you can end up on the streets. And the amazing thing with this country is that there's no ceiling. You can go as high as you want, and I have seen that in my personal life. I have really come from nothing to being much more than making my all alone much more than the average American household. But it doesn't also have a safety net. And as easy as you can go to the dealership and buy a fancy German car, it's as easy to start living under a bridge if you're not careful. You can be homeless in no time. With this crisis, I see in the apartment complex forum that we have, there's a bunch of people that try to find somebody to take on their lease, because they will get the penalties if they just break the contract. So they're trapped. They don't have jobs. They're trying to do the right thing and downsize on their living expenses, and they cannot do it because of the way the system works. So you really need to be careful. You really need to concentrate on what's important in life. And for me, a good night's sleep is worth a whole lot more than a fancy watch, than a fancy car. Knowing every night that I go to sleep and next morning, if everything goes to hell, I can continue living in a nice way. I will continue have a home. I will continue. I own my car outright. I don't have any car payments. I paid my phone service with an annual contract. So for the next year, my phone is paid. So I'm trying to concentrate my efforts to my daily expenses. Once I have those secured, then I allow myself some nice things. And for me, nice things is basically travel, which is where the credit cards are coming handy. But I would highly suggest, if you think that you don't have the personality, if you don't know your limits, and you think that you will not take, you're not going to use the credit card the way that it's supposed to be used, and you're going to use it to overspend, don't do it. You're going to regret it. I regretted it, and I had that moment when my daughter said that, the light was broken, and I had to, try to make it easy for her. And I said, you know what, since we don't have lights, let's play with the flashlights. that was a tough moment for me, and it was the toughest moment since I moved to this country 5 years ago. I would highly suggest you guys be careful. Be careful. As easy as it is to be on the positive side of things when it comes to credit cards, it's as easy to be on the negative side, and that will cost you a lot of not only money but mental health. In the end of the day, you're gonna realize that mental health and feeling good inside is much more valuable than what everybody else around you think about you based on your car or your phone. I would love to hear your experiences. If you have any similar experience like mine, I hope that you don't, but if you do, I would love to hear it. It would also make me feel better about mine. Thank you so much. Bye.